Yo, what's up, KallaTheYapper, and I'm back with another reaction. Today I'm going to be reacting to another video by Gaming called 5 Years of Training versus 1 Year of Training. Basic Technique Comparison. My bad, I'm stuttering. So let's see what this video is about. First year. Second year. Wait, are we about to complain? Is the complaint that I'm getting from this is that the Traveler's basic fighting style doesn't change based on their element? I hope to God that's not the complaint being made here, because if so, that is a lackluster complaint. Now you may be wondering why I'm saying it's a lackluster complaint. My nigga, we all know that the Traveler's playstyle, in terms of the element they're using for their basic attack animations, doesn't change. We know that for a fact. Withering Waves, yeah, that does change. But we need to take into consideration that Withering Waves is a fast-paced game. Right? It's got fast-paced combat in everything that it does. Right? Granted, as I'm thinking about it, someone can make the valid argument of, well, if Withering Waves can change the playstyle, or the devs can change the playstyle of the main character depending on what element they have, then Genshin could have done the same thing too. And in that regard, if that is, well, realistically, that's probably the counter argument someone would make to me. Then I would say, you know what? Yeah, valid. The Travelers game. Actually, there has been moments where they've introduced like these limit time events where the Traveler would do like a parrying mechanic, where they would bounce back attacks, like long range attacks at enemies. And I'm not gonna lie, for the longest time I thought to myself, why don't they just add this to the Traveler's basic combat mode, right? Granted, they'd have to try to incorporate it as either for them not having any elemental power to be able to use that, or they can use it with their elemental power. Granted, I'll show a clip from like 2-3 years ago of the event I'm talking about, so you can see what I'm talking about. Starting probably right now. Okay, we're back. So let's continue the video. Granted, still, I don't think this is worth that much complaint about. If I'm being honest, like, is it a necessity that the Traveler changes their basic attack animation playstyle when basic attack animations don't really deal that much damage in Genshin Impact versus, let's say, elemental reactions? Because that's the more important thing rather than basic attack animations. If we're being honest, like, the only characters that's using basic attack animations are characters who need to do that in order to deal damage, like Arlecchino or Hu Tao or D-Luke and Gaming and Zhao. Like, there's a handful of playable characters that exist in Genshin that want to use their basic attack animations with their elemental skill. The Traveler is clearly designed to use more so of his elemental skills and bursts rather than his basic attacks, which is why the complaint about the basic attack thing is irrelevant. If anything, we should be focusing more so on the elemental skill and burst, which have more value than his basic attack animations, because they don't hold value. And yes, I understand that the video is called Basic Technique Comparison, but I'm just saying, like, I don't feel like this is like something that's like ultra, like, oh my god, the worst thing ever because they didn't change his basic attack animations. It's like, it's clearly a design choice, right? They decide it was unnecessary to do that. Let's just change the elemental skill and burst, because again, elemental reactions hold more value in this game than basic attack animations. Basic attack animations hold a little bit of value in Genshin, depending on the character. Withering Waves, basic attack animations are a necessity because, you know, it's fast-paced combat, and, you know, basic attacks, their intro, outro skill, forte, resonance ability, all that stuff, that holds more value in their case versus Genshin's case. And mind you, peep game, this doesn't just apply to the Traveler. This applies to every freaking playable character in Genshin. Like, let's be honest, every playable character in Genshin, I think just something that it is something worth, I guess, giving thumbs up to, is that Genshin Impact basic attack animations, at least when it comes down to their playable characters, they have different basic attack animations. Like, not every playable character has the exact same basic attack animation, right? And another thing to note, Withering Waves also have this whole thing with combo attacks, which is why it's built into the basic attack animation of characters. This includes the main character and every other playable character. So it's like, yeah, them changing their combos and playstyle makes more sense in the case of Withering Waves than it does in Genshin. Now Genshin could have changed the basic attack animations for the Traveler, yeah, sure, but again, it wouldn't have held much weight to the Traveler's gameplay in comparison to their elemental skill and burst, as I've stated before. What I find interesting, I don't know if he's popping their skill and using basic attacks. That's the one thing I'm a little confused by what's going on in this gameplay. Because I haven't used Havoc Rover a lot. I've been using Arrow Rover and Spectral Rover more. I need to actually go back and do Arrow Rover's gameplay a little more. But like, if we're going to show off this, why didn't we show off like the elemental power of the Traveler when you had them on screen for every year until we reach now the 5th year of the game? I'm a little iffy about that personally. That animation was a little similar to Spectral Rover, if I'm being honest. Yeah, it feels like, wow, it does feel like Spectral Rover's gameplay. The only difference is Spectral Rover charged in with like his right shoulder, while Arrow Rover charged in with their left. Yeah, okay, so like I thought, so they're using the elemental skills of the Rover in their comparison, but they didn't do the same thing for the Traveler. To me, that's a little dishonest. If we're gonna do comparisons for fair game, we need to do it for fair game on both sides, because this is blatantly dishonest. Why are we doing that? I know someone would be like, oh, you're such a horseshit for pointing that out. I'm just being honest, bro. If we're gonna make a comparison video, don't you think we should use both things for both sides? Why are you using the elemental skills of the Rover in their gameplay? Granted, it seemed like you only used it for Arrow and Havoc. Granted, Spectral probably also, he probably used Spectral's elemental skills as well in their gameplay showcase. But like, why didn't you do the same thing for this side? My whole issue with this whole comparison debate is that it starts becoming disingenuous when you start doing things like this. You'll sit here and show me the elemental skills of the Rover on one side, but when it came down to Genshin's side, you didn't bother doing that for whatever God knows reason. To me, that's just being blatantly dishonest. And you can sit here and say, oh, you're defending $1 billion company. I'm just stating it as it is. Like there's, because when you do stuff like that, there's no room for true, like, a ground to even speak on, to be like, okay, let's talk about this. Let's engage in a good faith manner, right? Because then it just comes off as you're engaging in a bad faith manner. This feels bad faith to me, even with everything I've said in the video already prior to this moment. All right, and that's basically the end of the video. So at the end, I'm iffy about the video from what they present because of how dishonest the framing was when they compared both main characters and their elemental powers, where one side gets to use their elemental powers, the other side didn't. And then the title of the video is called Basic Technique Comparison. Well, what you showed on this side doesn't look like basic technique comparison when you're popping their elemental skills in the middle of their combat gameplay. So what are we talking about? But hey, that's just me. Granted, this video was made 2 weeks ago, but it is what it is. I still feel the need to talk about it. I feel like it was worth talking about. Yeah. Like and sub to the video. If you disagree with what I stated in this video, explain to me why you disagree. I'm open to the conversation. I really am. Go check out this content creator if you want. I'll leave a link to their video in the description below. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Also, I reacted to this video already right here. Go check that out. And yeah, see you later. Bye.